Most events, like the negative events that happen in our home, aren't really unexpected. They're just unplanned for.
Welcome to The Home Stretch, your go-to podcast for real estate trends, expert insights, and unique paths to homeownership. In this episode, Arborough's Alex Corden sits down with Caboodl co-founder Ben Bisset to unpack the realities of home maintenance, renovations, and the hidden responsibilities that come with owning a home.
Welcome, listeners, to another episode of The Home Stretch, where we give you the scoop on how to get into a home, stay in a home, and then make the most out of it. Today, we are demystifying home maintenance and renovations. I know a topic that is near and dear to many first-time home buyers and a lot of Arborough homeowners. So our special guest today is Ben Bisset, the president and co-founder of Caboodl. Welcome, Ben.
Thanks for having me, Alex. I'm excited to chat with you.
Yeah, Caboodl, we often tell our homeowners, you put home maintenance on autopilot. Right? That is your mandate. You're trying to take the thinking out of home maintenance, a concierge of sorts. And what many people don't know is that Arborough, we initially started this partnership with Caboodl right from the beginning when we realized just how intimidating it could be for first-time buyers getting into a home. They really don't realize oftentimes what they're signing up for, going from like a condo to saying, a single family. And so we brought on Caboodl to help with that. And one of the things that we just cannot emphasize enough is that Arborough, if you are a co-owner with Arborough, we will pay Caboodl to do home maintenance on your property. So stay tuned for a little bit more about that. But maybe just let's get started. A little bit about you, Ben, and Caboodl. So what some listeners might not know is that Ben and I actually know each other from our days at KPMG, from before me being at Arborough and Ben being at Caboodl.
Two recovering accountants.
That's what this podcast should be called, is two recovering accountants. The corporate refugees. So maybe, but even after KPMG, you've gone on and done some really interesting things. Louis Vuitton and then BMO. At none of that journey were you ever a contractor or...
No. I've been interested in real estate and homes as long as I can remember. Interested in the idea of buying them, of being a landlord. And so my career has taken me a bunch of different places, from accounting. I ran operations at Louis Vuitton here in Toronto, the flagship store. I ran a strategy portfolio at BMO Nesbitt Burns. Mm-hmm. And that's where I really started my journey with Caboodl. But throughout it all, I've really been thinking constantly about the way we engage with homes, buying and selling homes. And so even though I didn't have at the time experience in home renovations or contracting, it's always been kind of something I focused on.
There's something physical and real about properties and property management. And you're a landlord yourself, right?
Yeah, have been for 2 decades now. And so that really was the start of my
trial by
journey
fire
towards Caboodl. It is, right? And so, you really start to see everything that's involved, especially as you start to manage a couple of properties, and how difficult it can be to find people to help you when you need the help. Mm-hmm. And what was really apparent to me, the right people, how, as a homeowner, as a landlord, you will go through so many different events in your home, from, replacing your furnace to roofs to wanting to go through a renovation. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of homeowners have the ability to do that and figure it out properly. But the amount of time it takes to get yourself up to date on what you need to know is just so difficult. Yeah. So I found in my own experience, being a landlord, owning homes, that there's nobody out there that helps you jump that learning process when you have to go through an event, when your roof needs replacing. So everything just takes longer unless you're just willing to kind of take the first person that answers your call, which unfortunately is what a lot of homeowners do.
So nothing of your journey ever was in construction or home services. So what in particular kind of catalyzed this desire for you to go into home maintenance?
Yeah, so it was kind of two things. When I have always wanted to start a business, and it's been, I come from a family of entrepreneurs. And so I knew at some point I was going to start something. I really thought it was going to be something around buying and selling real estate, and that process of making it easier to buy and sell real estate. Mm-hmm. And so there are so many companies out there that are looking to disrupt that process. Mm-hmm. And what my time at Nesbitt Burns really showed me was that, when issues that come up in your life are infrequent, complicated, and involve a lot of money, relationship managers are really super helpful in helping you through that process.
That's really interesting insight. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what was originally envisioned as an app for managing your home, but starting with buying and selling, kind of pivoted towards maintenance and improvement. And it really, like the catalyst or the tipping point for me was an issue in my own home. So my wife and I had both been condo owners when we decided to buy a home together. It was a new experience. Neither of us had ever maintained a home.
That classic condo to a house journey, yeah.
And they're so different. A condo is almost maintenance free, right?
It literally is.
So, and a home was a new thing for us. And the thing that I found out in my first winter of home ownership is how important it is to turn off your hose bibs in the winter.
Manual.
There's
no I've always thought like previous owners should just be able to leave the next owner a book of instructions,
Yeah, there should be, right? And I'm sure we'll get into what Caboodl does, but that's what we are trying to do for people is build that manual so that you don't have to know everything about your home. And unfortunately, what happened for us was at some point in the middle of a cold winter, our pipe outside froze and burst. And then as we were returning from a nice Easter brunch with some friends, we came back to a pool in our backyard. We don't have a pool and a flooded basement. And so then that just kicked off this whole process of, okay, how am I going to get it fixed? Mm-hmm. Who's going to come and do it? And I'm really lucky to be fairly skilled with tools. Like I've worked in trades and on tools for a long part of my life. Grew up in Northern Ontario. It's hard not to. But there was no help throughout that process. And so I found myself getting angry about figuring out who I needed to help me. And then wishing that someone had told me, just 2 minutes would have saved me $10,000 worth of repairs and weeks of my time to fix. And so that was really the big catalyst for working on the problem that's maintaining and repairing homes.
Yeah. There's two things there I want to unpack. First of all, I love the way the analogy of, working in finance and then also in home ownership, those infrequent high stakes events that happen where when they do happen, it's high stakes and the risks involved are known, but they don't happen frequent enough that you get enough reps in. So you actually build expertise or build relationships. You have to get it right. The margin for error is low. That's the word I was looking for, right? They're high stakes and the margin of error is low. And that's very analogous to home ownership because when you have something like that happen, you either have done what you could to prevent it from happening in the first place, but sometimes even still, they will nonetheless happen. And you kind of have one shot to find the right person to fix it. And
totally.
And if they don't do a good job, or if you don't know,
then you're coming to somebody else to fix it. It's always more expensive to do it the second time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we see that kind of happen over and over with homeowners. So, what usually happens is most people don't plan for the replacement or repair of the big parts of their home.
Yeah.
So you are calling a company like Caboodl when your furnace dies and it's minus 20 out, or your air conditioner goes. And at that point, you are at the mercy of the person that is willing to come to you.
Yeah.
You're willing to, take almost anything they say at face value.
And the price. Yep.
And the price. And there's obviously a premium for stuff happening on a short time frame, right? So people end up making poor decisions in those scenarios.
In those moments of crisis.
Yeah. And they get a bad contractor to do a roof repair or install their furnace. And then when it stops working, they're coming to somebody else to, if they're lucky, fix their work.
Yeah.
If they're unlucky, redo the whole job a second time.
Yes.
And you spend the amount of money that people waste because they're not prepared and they don't have themselves equipped with the right information is really big.
Yeah, because that was the second thing, is the idea of preventative maintenance. So it's almost like twofold. If you can be educated and informed enough to know what are the maintenance things that you should be doing to delay and reduce the risk of these catastrophic events happening, that's a big part of home maintenance and what Caboodl does. And if and when inevitably some of these unexpected events do happen, you should have a right, like a trusted person that you could call to still respond to those
100%. Yeah. I mean, most events, like the negative events that happen in our home, aren't really unexpected. They're just unplanned for, right? Your furnace is going to die at some point. Your roof is going to need replacing.
Yeah, it is inevitable. It's just a matter of when. Yeah.
Right. So are you prepared for it? And Caboodl, like you can prolong the life of these systems if you're maintaining them properly. That's not just a thing that, we tell people to, increase our revenue, like proper maintenance of your furnace, your air conditioner, your eaves troughs, like that extends the life of it. And when you have a company like us that's in your home and cataloging everything, now you know the expected life of all your systems. So it doesn't mean that you have to replace it, but okay, my furnace is 12 years old. I should expect it to last 15.
Yeah.
If I get more, great, but I need to start planning for a large expense in the near term because this piece of my house isn't going to last forever.
Yeah. And you give people that manual, right? From what I understand, when you first start working with a customer, when you onboard them to their home, you're literally giving them a manual for, the systems and the equipment of their home and how to take care of it. Not necessarily always by you, but even just themselves. What are the day-to-day things they ought to do? Absolutely.
Like your home is a mix of it's a huge mix of systems, all requiring, different expertise, different maintenance. Much of it can be done by a homeowner. Much of it needs to be done by a qualified or licensed technician, depending on what it is. So that's how we start our relationship with every homeowner. If you think about a home inspection, it's a point in time. So accountants, it's a balance sheet, right? It's that one moment when that home inspector was there. Here is what your house looks like. So Caboodl takes it the next step and says, okay, we've seen everything that's in your house. Here are your recommendations. But now here's what to expect going forward. Here is when you are going to have to repair these things. Here's when you can expect to replace, your roof, your windows, your furnace. And so we really build a living dashboard of your home that's meant to keep you ahead of problems that can happen.
If keeping up with endless to-do lists and home maintenance is causing you stress, then it's time for something better. Caboodl maintains your whole home and puts an end to your to-do list. Caboodl. Enjoy your home.
I kind of want to jump into, during home inspections, I guess, what are some of the things home buyers should look out for just in the home inspection themselves?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing to be aware of with home inspections is that every home inspector is different. So, one, in Toronto, it's a competitive market. A lot of sellers are putting home inspections and making them available. So they're paying for the home inspection, making it available for buyers. Now, home inspectors are supposed to be objective, right? And so there's, you should be able to have some reliance on that, but you need to understand when it was done.
Yes.
Right?
Yep. That's a very good point.
And not all home inspectors are the same or go to the same level of detail. Some are really great and use a platform that has been developed for it and provides a ton of great information. Some of them are great with a bad platform and just doing, reports on Google Docs. And then unfortunately, some of them are barely even meeting the standards of the Home Inspection Act.
How does one tell?
So, a good way to start, and we say this, is, one, choose a home inspection company, and there are a couple of big ones. If you're starting off with the bigger home inspection companies, you're already probably setting yourself up for more success, right? Even within their structure and the reporting systems they use, people can have different levels, but at least there's a standard there, right? And when you use smaller companies,
sometimes
they
you're
can
in a
be
pinch,
great.
and that's you need the first inspector that can
for
come.
sure. In that scenario, then I want to see a couple of inspections that person has done before?
Oh,
What is
that's
the
a good
level
idea.
of detail that they go to? Are they just taking pictures and circling it, or are they giving you detail about what the problem is, what the impact is of that problem, and then potentially taking it to, further, like when you should expect to replace it, what the cost might be. So that's one thing. Also, like when I look at a home inspection, the first thing I do is I go to the executive summary. A good home inspection will list the critical issues in your home and tell you, cracked foundation, HVAC system wasn't working, roof is old, you need to plan for it. So you should be able to get some good idea of the state of the home from the first few pages. And then after that, I'm looking at the big structural parts of the home and the system. So are there any foundation issues noted, structural issues noted in the report? Step cracking in the foundation, evidence of water in the basement or mold. Good inspectors will take a moisture measurement through the wall. So I want to look for issues that are difficult to repair. Okay. Structural issues, water issues are difficult to repair, right? So anything foundational to the home, termite damage, difficult to repair. The problem with that is a lot of those things can be behind walls that you can't see. And those will specifically be excluded from the inspection report. So, you can also take it to the level, I'm seeing a lot more home inspectors using thermal image camera, thermal imaging. And so if you're seeing that kind of detail, you can be a little more comfortable that it's a high level of inspection. After structure, I'm looking at electrical. I want to make sure we don't have that old like knob and tube stuff. My electrical is safe. And HVAC system and roofing. Just as big expenditures. Those aren't things that can't be repaired. But they're big expenditures that I want to plan for.
You don't have to tear down walls to have to do it, but they are expensive because they're very specialized.
Correct, yeah.
What might be, before we move on, one question for you that I know we get a lot from our home buyers is what are some things that you see come up in a home inspection that buyers don't necessarily take seriously enough?
Probably the biggest one. And I would say this is on the majority of home inspection reports. It is in the majority of homes that I go visit. It is very easy to repair and replace is a lack of smoke alarms and carbon monoxide detectors.
Oh, interesting.
So it's not a structural thing, but it's very easy for people to fix. The number of homes, most of our homes here in Toronto, in Canada, are heated with natural gas. Has the potential to release carbon monoxide. And the amount of homes that we see without proper fire protection is quite high.
That's a great one because I think people see that like, oh, that's an easy fix or just got to replace the back, but then they just procrastinate
or they never do
delay
it.
it.
And we we see it a lot. Unfortunately, we see homes we're going in and doing regular maintenance and their furnace is pumping out carbon monoxide. So that's a really easy one, but one a lot of people tend to ignore.
So we've got that. Update your carbon monoxide and smoke detectors and batteries on a regular basis. In fact, that's something that Caboodl does as part of their regular home care plan is making sure. So as a very natural and subtle segue, why don't you tell us a bit about the Caboodl home care program? This is for anybody. This is what you offer, a big part of your service offering. But also this is specifically the product that Arbro purchases for all of the homeowners in our portfolio.
So essentially, we see ourselves as bringing professional property management to homeowners, right? And a lot of landlords will hire a property manager to make it easier for them to maintain their home, right? But there aren't really services that take a proactive approach to it for people like us that we have a little less time. We're really bringing professional property management to regular homeowners in an easy, accessible, and affordable way. So what we do, for us, it all starts with that first visit, very similar to a home inspection. We send a home expert into your house, and they are going through your home from top to bottom and building a digital replica of the home. So we are cataloging your systems, your structures, your appliances, make, model, serials, and building the maintenance routine that's specific for each one of those systems and structures for your home. Just like a home inspection, we're going to create recommendations for you and prioritize them by urgency. So how important is it for you to take care of it? Is it a risk to your structure or the occupants of the home? And so we build that all and we hand over that digital home manual to our homeowners. So they're more equipped now to maintain it. And then the next part of what we do is we take all of those critical regular preventive maintenance services and we bundle it into a monthly plan. So instead of having to go out and schedule eaves trough cleaning, window cleaning, furnace maintenance, chimney sweeping, and do that every year. Chimney sweeping's still a thing. Yeah. Or a natural gas fireplace check, right? So a little, more natural gas fireplaces now than chimneys, but it is still a thing. And we put that all into one plan. You pay a monthly fee and you don't have to worry about scheduling that anymore because a lot of people will know what they need to do. They just forget.
Yes.
Or their Google reminder gets to them and they're too busy and it doesn't get done. Or just life catches up with them.
You keep thinking,
right?
I got the tools, I'm just going to do it myself. But then you don't. And then all of a sudden it's winter and you've got a flood in your backyard.
That's right. So we just had I would call it a surprise snowfall here in Toronto. And most trees still have 50% of their leaves on it.
That was crazy,
so that's a difficult one. And so Caboodl will pre-schedule all of that work so that you don't have to worry about it. You know that your core maintenance services are being taken care of. And then on the repair side, so full service property management, we're there for all the repairs and improvements that a home needs, but better equipped to help our homeowners because we know everything about them.
Yeah.
So heating is a great example. We get a lot of calls from homeowners with issues with heating in the middle of winter. And because we have the model and serial number of their furnace within the system, we can walk them through some troubleshooting issues to help them get themselves up and running and avoid the downtime of waiting for a technician to come and the cost. Because if we can help you solve it,
you're a phone call away and you can walk them through in real time. Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
And one thing I've always appreciated about your service is, yes, you're giving people kind of that list, that prioritized list, a triage list of things that require attention, but you're also showing people these are the things you could do on your own, right? It's not everything, pay us to do all these little things. Here are the things you can and should do on your own. Change your filter to replace, XYZ. If you don't want to do it, you can do it.
That's it. I mean, the other thing that we do, so filters is a great example. That's the number one cause for issues with HVAC that we get, calls about HVAC not working. It's your furnace filter that hasn't been changed. Okay, so we send you a reminder. We show you a video how to do it. It's very easy to do, right?
Yeah.
And so we want to give people the information they need to maintain their homes themselves.
And to empower them and educate them, for sure.
And also to build trust, right? Like we're not in the business of winning this one job. Like we're in the business of building a relationship with you and your home as long as you're in it. Yeah. So it's against our interests to try to
sell
have
you on
pay
everything.
us for each or for furnace filter changes. When we want to be there when you need to replace the furnace and you trust us to do it. So we build that kind of trust by also telling people what they don't need to do. So duct cleaning is like a really big thing, right? Like we probably say we do a better job of not selling duct cleaning than we do selling it because most homes don't need it. Yeah. You have a filter for a reason. The US EPA did a study. Duct cleaning doesn't improve the air quality in your home. So, unless you've gone through specific things like a renovation or someone's having a respiratory issue, you don't need to spend $500.
Yeah. So that's really interesting. Speaking of building trust, I mean, we talk about this a lot. We are still trying to crack the nut on getting Arborough homeowners to understand the value of regular maintenance, right? What would you say to some homeowners? Be like, why would I want Caboodl? Why do I need eaves trough? I can just do the leaves myself. Or even, this is a free service that we're offering. This is the opportunity, Ben. Like if you were to shake somebody.
Yeah. And I do want to shake those sometimes and just say like, this is going to help you. We've been partners with Arboro for a long time. And so, I think I can fairly say that the purpose of Arboro coming to us to do this is truly to help homeowners
to care for our shared assets.
You have a shared investment or interest in the home, and you want to take care of it, and you want to take care of the people there. And so I think that's where I would start is this is a service that truly aims to help you, protect you, your home, your asset, and the people in it. And
what's some of the pushback that you get? You can tell.
Sure. So I think understandably there is a hesitation of having a company come in that is paid for by
somebody else,
right?
Yeah.
Are we here to check up where, is it
wearing
Big
body
Brother
cams? Let's just
yeah.
answer this once and for all, Ben. Do you wear body cams when you go into a home?
No body cameras. And we're not like, we don't share a ton of information with you about
I wish we could get more.
Right. So, our goal is to help protect the home and the homeowner. So if something bad comes up, like we're letting them know, and we're advising them, reach out to Arboro because they can help.
Yeah.
There's a lot that your team can do and we can do to get the work done, but like you want to understand what's going on. So reach out to them. We're not, that's not our role here. Our role is to administer the maintenance program, inform homeowners, and try to help keep them safe.
Yeah. Yeah.
So after that, I would just say, like, there is so much that we know that most homeowners don't. And I would just say, like, take a chance, because the information that we can share with you, it's not only going to keep your home safe, it's going to keep you and your family safe.
Yeah.
And the services that we typically do for homeowners, it's a furnace or an HVAC maintenance. That's serious, right? Like the potential risks of poor combustion or an old furnace system, they're not minor. They're homes filling up with carbon monoxide and unfortunately death. And you combine that with the fact that so many people don't have proper carbon monoxide and smoke detectors, it's a real risk.
Yeah.
So, that's a service that's, $200 that we're going to send a bill to Arboro.
Yeah.
And so like, have us come and do it. And your home is going to be safer. You're going to be safer.
It's so fun.
And why wouldn't you?
Our teams, like we talked about this, like how do we get people to sign up for this? It seems to be a no-brainer. So it's really interesting to hear it from your perspective. On that note though, do you have a story you could share about, Caboodl coming in, doing that preventative maintenance? And because it's hard to know the things that you've avoided, right? Like if you really help somebody dodge a bullet, they may not appreciate it because to them, that just didn't happen. Preventative maintenance is tough to quantify from a value perspective. But do you have some hard examples that you can share?
Yeah, it is hard to like prove your value when
something doesn't happen.
Right. Okay. Yes, your home didn't flood. I can take credit for your home not flooding every year. That would be great. But people won't give me that credit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we have certainly, as part of our onboarding inspections, there's no shortage of issues that we've identified that have helped homeowners get ahead of problems.
Right.
Things as simple as, your sump pump is not working.
Yeah.
So we came into your house and we tested your sump pump. It doesn't work. Like you are in a flood zone. This is a expense that you need to go through, or else you're at risk of
your basement flooding.
And having significant issues.
That's a really great example, because you're not used to going into your basement and testing your sump pump, or even just watching it when it rains to see if it's working. Yeah, exactly.
Right. And so, people don't see that. People, might know that their eaves troughs are full of stuff.
Yeah.
But also don't understand why that's an issue, right? And so...
Why is it an issue?
Yeah, so the main job of your eaves troughs is to move water away from your foundation, right? And so we want water away from your foundation because there is pressure in the soil that pushes water up against your house constantly. And if you get too much of it, that water gets into your house and floods your basement. So eaves trough cleaning is actually helping prevent basement flooding. Is like
it's so counterintuitive. They're like, right. this is, eaves troughs up along my roof. How does that?
They couldn't be further apart from each other, right? And so, but for the cost of $250 to clean your eaves troughs, again, you might be avoiding a $15,000 basement flood. Yeah. And I will take credit for that every single year.
You got to take the win when you can.
Yeah. And just so beyond the inspection, our regular maintenance, in the last 2 weeks alone, we have identified 4 homes that had significant issues with carbon monoxide.
Oh, wow.
And so
people are turning on their heaters for the first time this season, right? Yeah.
Right. And they're, we're scheduling regular maintenance. You don't know when this is going to happen. So some of these are homeowners, we did a maintenance last year. It was fine. We did it this year. There's a crack in your heat exchanger. And now carbon monoxide is escaping, into your exhaust, and so that's a very significant issue. It doesn't necessarily mean it's getting into your home right away, but it's so significant that the regulators make us shut off your furnace, right, to make sure you're safe. So 4 times we've had that happen in the last 2 weeks, and in one case it had actually gotten to the point where it was getting inside the home, and when we questioned the homeowners about it, they were having headaches. They were starting to feel the effects of it, right?
Jeez, and not knowing,
and I won't fault them because a lot of people have done this, but like the week before had pulled off their smoke alarm because something was happening and didn't get it back up, right?
Yeah.
So, that regular maintenance is really, really key.
You know what? As accountants, we never get to wear capes, but as a Caboodl home maintenance service, Ben is out there saving lives. Home maintenance saves lives. Okay, we're getting close to wrapping up here. So, I have to say this has been incredibly entertaining and enlightening. Like even for me as a homeowner of many years, I always learn something new from you every time we talk. I think as part of a wrap up, we've got some great rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah? Okay. You can only do one reno, bathroom or kitchen?
Kitchen.
I've seen your bathroom. You've renovated. Never mind.
We have a very nice bathroom, but like the kitchen is it's like the center of your home.
Yeah,
it's
fair enough.
It's where we spend the most time.
Okay. Accent wall, love it or lose it?
I love it.
Paint or wallpaper? On said accent wall.
If I'm doing the work, paint. If it's in my own home, wallpaper. Yeah.
All right. One thing you never cheap out on when it comes to home maintenance or renovations?
Preventive maintenance. I realize that's the answer. But there's so much.
You save money.
So much
that's the point.
benefit to actually doing the work that your home needs regularly. Yes. So I do practice what I preach.
Good.
And maintain my home.
Nice. One thing people overspend on. Ding, ding, ding,
oh yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, no, you don't want to throw shade on any particular trade. Duct cleaning.
Duct cleaning. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
If you had $5,000 to spend on your own home, where would it go?
It would go into a walkout. I mean, it's not going to cover it, but I need a new entrance so that my kids can throw their winter clothes not in my front door.
Perfect. Yeah. Just some hooks. That's not $5,000. Yeah. That's like $5.
No, but I need a new entrance. Like it's a little more than
like
$5,000.
A little mudroom.
Yes. I need a mudroom
with a heated floor.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Electric heated floor.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
Okay. What's the first thing you check when you walk into an older house?
Oh, I go to the basement every time.
The boiler room? Or just the basement in general?
I go to the mechanical room. Yeah. Like that's typically, where that's the guts of the house. Yep. So that's where I'm going to make sure that the home is comfortable, that the occupants are comfortable. But also like everything mostly that you want to see or worry about is down in the basement.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
not the
structural.
roof?
No, because a roof is
Fixable.
easily fixable.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
So it's not difficult. It can be costly, but it's not difficult to change shingles or do anything like that. I want to know that the foundation, so interior basement, exterior exposed foundation.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, last one. What's one tool every homeowner should have?
Aside from Caboodl, everybody just needs to go get a basic tool set. You could probably buy it for $30 that has screwdrivers, wrenches, and that's probably all you need. Yeah.
Yeah, for home maintenance? Not like a power drill?
No, I mean, look, if we're talking about things like you want to do stuff yourself, improvements, then a drill.
Right.
If we're just talking about like maintaining things
being
generally,
able to prepare, like opening up a panel of air vent or something.
You need screwdrivers. Yeah. You need screwdrivers and wrenches.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of socket wrench things in your home. You're probably gonna be able to do most things with a screwdriver.
Ben, thank you again so much for being here and sharing your insights and all these like behind the scenes stories of what you see. I mean, as homeowners, we only have the one house we take care of, and we maybe hear it through the internet or whatever, all the horror stories, but they can get pretty extreme. I think hearing from your objective perspective has been invaluable. And to everyone listening, Caboodl is CABOODL.com. They're on Instagram and LinkedIn. You can find them.
.ca.
Ben, any last thoughts for our listeners?
No, thank you for having me. I had a lot of fun. If anybody's looking for help with their home, they can reach out to us. Caboodl is CABOODL. You can find us at caboodl.ca. You can email our team for help at hello@caboodl.ca.
Amazing. Okay. Don't forget to follow and subscribe, and so you don't miss future conversations. But until then, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Alex.